All right. And I cannot believe it. I pronounced Oleg Bemisola's name correctly. I'm so proud of myself. All right. So we're going to have a time of 10 rapid fire questions.
And we've got a fun guest, right?
Yeah, we have a really fun guest. And so everyone, would you welcome with me our surprise guests, Mitch and Cath Kramer.
Wow.
I don't know if sharing that song actually worked, but I was like, I can play my own walkout music.
See, you can do that. You've got skills like that.
Who is that?
Who was that singing?
Oh, who was that? That's Jack White. I can tell that we are going to be friends.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh, that's such a cute.
That's whenever anybody asked him what Mitch's like walkout music would be like if he was a baseball player, that's what he would play.
Okay. I really like the idea of like a lot of baseball players or a lot of professional athletes are like, oh, I'm going to have like this hardcore, like intimidating music. And I would love to just like walk up and be like, I can tell that we are going to be friends. And then like, be ready.
Yeah, or the party song. I love you.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of good options.
All right. Well, so many of you already know Mitch and Catherine, but Mitch he was the original man behind the curtain. Now, Greta is our new man / actually woman behind the curtain now. Catherine is married to Mitch. So can you guys just tell those of people who may not know you, can you guys tell us a little bit about yourselves?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh, okay, I will. Yeah, so we are originally from Michigan. We're Mitch and Catherine, as you said, and we moved out to New York almost 4 years ago now. And yeah, started attending All Angels when we first moved out here, actually on the advice of someone back in Michigan who was like, oh, you guys from our old church in Michigan, they were like, you guys are moving to New York, you should check out the church that I used to go to like 20 years ago. So we checked out that church. That's where we were introduced to Christine. And we made the move with Christine and several others to All Angels almost exactly a year ago
to
now.
St. Peter's.
We're
at St. Peter's now. You said
Oh, did I? Oh, yeah. See, this is why I want you to introduce us.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly
a year ago.
The first Sunday of October.
First Sunday,
What an exciting anniversary.
Yeah, I had 6 months in person and now 6 months remote, and and here we are.
We're still here.
Yeah.
Hey, can you say just a quick word about, so like what made you come to St. Peter's?
Yeah, it was something that we had kind of talked about. Well, so Christine, it actually has a lot to do with you because you, I think as soon as we were going to All Angels, you were kind of mentioning like, I feel led at some point to like be reviving or starting like a new church plant or something. And we were like, All Angels was really good for us when we first moved to New York to just like have this really well-established church, this really well-established community that we could just like plug into right away and like form a lot of relationships. But we felt strongly that like a challenge of like planting a new church or revitalizing an old church was where we felt called. And so as soon as you started mentioning that, we were like, oh yeah, if Christine ever does that sounds right.
Yeah, and then when it actually materialized into St. Peter's, we were like, yeah, this is the thing. Let's do it. So we're really glad that we made that choice.
Yeah.
And we are so
grateful, right? We're so happy you came.
So glad that you came with us. All right, cool. Well, Alicia and I are going to ask you guys
to get into these questions.
Yeah, and so how about Alicia? Do you want to start? We'll just go back and forth. Denise,
I'll start. So, what is your idea of a perfect day?
Well, I kind of
that together or separately, however you feel. Yeah.
We'll see if we.
I feel like we have separate perfect days because my perfect day usually starts out with a run. I really like running. I don't know.
Rude. I run too.
You run, but is it part of your perfect day?
Okay.
Perhaps.
Okay. Sorry, that wasn't trying to attack.
Little tension happening here.
We like to really air our grievances out in public as much as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
That's your idea. That's your idea of a perfect day, right?
Yes, absolutely. Arguing. So yeah, I would start out with like a run in Central Park. I never get bored of running in Central Park. And probably at some point in there, I would go to my favorite restaurant, which is Bar Blue down in Seaport, and have like my favorite meal, which we did for my birthday 2 days ago, which is like this. It's a pear and ricotta fagottini with truffle sauce. It's just a really rich, really well balanced pasta. It's so good.
Nice.
Holy lunching, Friars.
Yeah, I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it.
Yeah, we got to start that.
Yeah.
And then in between, I would just love to spend time with friends or family, or both, ideally. So.
Yeah. I think my main activity would be going to the beach and eating ice cream.
Shyla, my youngest daughter, Shyla, would love that with you, that ice cream part.
Yeah. Those are like two components of any amazing day. So I feel like at the beach, like everybody that I know or like would be welcome to come, and like some people would stay all day, other people would come and go, but it would be like just sort of like a beach party with like many loved ones, and good food and ice cream.
Yeah.
Stay for the sunset, the whole thing.
Any particular flavor ice cream, like you have a favorite?
I love pistachio ice cream.
Oh yeah.
That's my favorite flavor.
Nice.
Good choice. That's a good one. All right. What is your most treasured possession?
Do you have any of those?
I'm thinking of kind of a lame answer right now, but it's very treasured to me right now during the pandemic. I got a Switch like a year ago, and it's really a Nintendo Switch, so like a video game system. And it's just been really nice when you can't really like do all that much, especially early on in the pandemic when we were like just stuck in our apartment all the time. Played a lot of video games, and I don't know if that's like my most treasured possession, but it is what came to mind.
All right.
All right.
No, we're done with that embarrassing answer.
That's
So
real.
I have this ring that was my grandma's.
Such a better answer.
She passed
No
away.
shaming for the answers now.
My grandma passed away 2 years ago, and originally like it was given to my mother, and then she wanted me to have it, and so I wear it all the time, and so it's very special.
Very lovely.
That's really meaningful.
Why did you let me start?
I was still thinking about it.
No, but actually would have been worse, Mitch, if she went first.
Well, I would have changed my answer then.
Right, his answer would have been affected by hers for sure.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah.
It's all good. It's all good, Mitch. Don't feel any shame about it.
My wedding ring is actually my most treasured possession. So.
Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah, all right.
Also, we'll move on. We kind of touched on this, but favorite meals.
Yeah, I did touch on mine. That pear and ricotta fagottini is so good.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, mine would be risotto of some kind, either mushroom or pumpkin. I love a hot bowl of risotto.
Is there a place you love to get it from in New York? One of your favorite spots?
I don't normally order it in restaurants because we make it at home a lot, and so I'm always like cautious about ordering something that I can make, because I'm like, well, I should spend my money on something I'm not confident I can cook myself.
Yeah. We do have, especially like for fall, we have this pumpkin risotto with goat cheese and like some cranberries in it that I think that's at least my favorite risotto.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah.
Cool. Catherine, right when you said risotto, my stomach was like,
I'm so thinking about food. I've been thinking about food all morning. So yeah.
It becomes a theme. It's because it's like when we end right around when lunchtime is true.
Yeah, we got to somehow do this like during lunch, just have everybody eating while we do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. After the animal blessing, we'll get some food. Okay. So what do you do like when you're trying to be brave, but you feel afraid? What do you do in that moment?
I'm ready. Do you want me to go first this time? My like pump up song, if I'm like, if I like need to feel brave but feel scared, is "Don't Stop Me Now" by Queen. And I'll literally just like blast it and like dance around the apartment, and then like, okay, time to go to the job interview or whatever it is. Like that's like the song that convinces me like I can do this.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
So good.
Love it. Yeah, I love it.
I actually thought about this one when it was posed like last week or 2 weeks ago. And I think what I do, which I don't know is if it's necessarily healthy, but whenever like I'm kind of worried or intimidated about something, I start just like researching really hard. So like, especially like early on in the pandemic, I was like listening to every podcast that had anything to do with like health tips and like learning everything that I could about COVID. And I just like pour myself into, if I can like understand whatever is worrying me, I'll usually be able to like get over it, or at least that's my thought process, which sometimes works and sometimes is like, it's actually unhealthy, but.
Yeah. Oh, that's real. Like, I feel like knowledge is power in some ways.
Yeah.
For sure. For sure.
People are, Catherine, asking you to share your risotto recipe.
I can do that. Yeah.
Yeah. You have to bring it to the next potluck.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
It's definitely like on the internet. We don't do a lot of like creating our own.
That's all good. That's
We
all
follow
good.
the recipes, so
Tried and true.
we can
That's
share a link. That'll be easy.
good. Something people get wrong about you.
So I work in book publishing and I majored in English in college. So pretty much since college started, like everyone thinks that any books that they've read, I have also read. And like even like there's like a lot of classics that if they weren't assigned to me in a class, like I didn't go back and like read them. Like I'm just not that kind of reader. So a lot of people will try to like talk to me about like their favorite books, and I'm like, yeah, that was a good one. Yeah. Oh, that was crazy. Like I'm also good at talking about books I've never read before. That's a skill that you pick up in my line of work. So I do pretty well with it, but I actually haven't read as many books as a lot of people think I have.
That's
I still read a lot of books. Maybe I'm currently getting this wrong about you.
You know what's funny is like a lot of times like I'll see a book title and I'll be like, I don't even need to read it. Like I already know what it's about. Did you guys ever do that where you're just like, I know what this is about, so I'm not going to bother.
Yeah, judge the book by its cover.
Exactly.
I feel like for me, people get wrong less about me and more just like about my profession. So I work in software development, and I feel like when I tell people that, like I program, I can write programs for computers, and people are like, oh, that's way over my head. And I feel like there's this kind of misconception about like just software programmers in general, that like they have some sort of extremely specialized knowledge, which is true to a certain extent, but I feel like programming is a lot more accessible than people give it credit for, and that like it's so much less about like intelligence and more just about patience and problem solving and a willingness to like click every button and try to troubleshoot in just like kind of random ways that don't really speak to intelligence at all. It's more just like having patience and having like well, I usually say when I'm interviewing someone, I want to see empathy too. So like I'm looking for people that are patient, and I'm looking for people that are thinking about others and like how they're going to use the software that you're building. So, yeah.
But it's like grit. Like
That's
having,
interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
wow, I never thought about empathy in software development. That makes so much sense because you're like, so many people are going to be using this. So what's it feel like for them? What do they need?
Mm.
Good. Software engineers, they have a heart.
Or hopefully, I feel like the good ones do. At least the ones that I hire do.
All right, this is a question that popped into my head this morning. If you could change your name to anything else other than what you currently have, like what would you want to change your name to?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Mm,
I mean, I really like old-timey names.
yeah.
Like, I mean, I feel like Catherine is like, we've had this thing for a long time. Like it's very popular, but I feel like I would want a name that's like used to be popular and like isn't really in vogue anymore, but in a cool way. Like, I want the name Mabel. That's
Mabel?
it. I want to be named
Nice.
Mabel. I think that'd be fun.
I like that name.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
We'll call you Mabel.
Okay, I'll take it.
I feel like for me, I don't think I would change my name. I really like Mitch. Just it's fairly unique. Like I don't meet a lot of other Mitches or Mitchells. And I really like that about my name. I like having a pretty uncommon name, though Mitch McConnell kind of ruins a lot of how I feel about my name. So maybe I would make McConnell change his name and I would keep Mitch.
Well, I told you a couple of weeks ago, a day kind of just has a thing about your name right now. And Mitch
Oh, yeah.
about the name Mitch right now. So
I'm flattered.
Martha is saying, Catherine, you should change your name to Gertrude.
Gertrude. Oh, yeah, I'll consider it. I think we'll stick with Mabel for now as my new name.
Maybe Catherine.
Yeah.
What is your motto? I always like this question.
Yeah, it's a good.
I think mine is probably, you can't read it, but it's on the sign between our heads. And it says, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. From Great is Thy Faithfulness. Him shout out.
I like it.
Yeah, I think that's just something that I come back to a lot. Like, you know, especially during hard times or challenging seasons like the one we're in. Like, okay, if I can find the strength to get through today, and within that feel hopeful about what's to come. And that's like how I try to live my life.
I know whenever we get to that part in the hymn, that's the part that I feel like you just sing out with all of your heart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I feel like I sometimes tear up during that part of the hymn.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. I feel like it's not much of a motto, but like a phrase that I've just been thinking of often, or just like a thought that I've been having, especially over the past 6 months, is just like individualism is unhealthy. It doesn't like make for a motto necessarily, but I've just been thinking about like American individualism, American exceptionalism, and then especially how that kind of infiltrates its way into white Christianity, and have been listening to some podcasts, reading some books about just like the idea of actually one of the themes that you read through the Bible a lot is God's love for community and kind of collective action. And like I've been thinking about the verse, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, where in a podcast I learned that you is actually plural. And so really it should be read, for I know the plans I have for y'all, declares the Lord, plans to prosper y'all and not to harm you. And so that just kind of that idea has been bouncing around in my head, and like, what does that actually change about how I live my life, and how I live out my faith. Just it being a lot more of a communal thing, a lot less individualistic. And how would our country look different if we kind of had that collective thought rather than that individualistic thought?
I think Mitch has got a sermon brewing in him. And I can't wait to hear it.
I think that was the entirety, and we'll just, all right, good.
You guys can run with that if you want to build something more. That's all he's got.
Yeah.
Well, I love it's like the Lord with like a Texan drawl, like y'all.
I mean, you don't have a choice because we don't have a plural you in English, and it really paints a lot of actually how we read the Bible in English. So yeah.
Is it me? Oh yeah. So my question next is, what's your hero of fiction? Like it could be a book, movie, other things.
I think mine is probably Anne Shirley from Anne of Green Gables, which is not, I didn't read that book until I was an adult. It was again, one of those classics that like, it just kind of had missed me. And I had a friend who was living abroad, and she was for like a year, and it's her favorite, her favorite book or whatever. And I like casually mentioned to her like, oh, I've never read it. And she was like, if you don't read this before I come back to the States, like I'm not gonna see you until you've read it. Like, I don't want to be associated with you until you have this book in your head. And I was like, oh, okay. So I like took it really seriously and I read it and I was like, she was right. Like, I needed this in my life. But so that's my introduction to the book. But I think Anne as a character is just so funny, and she's just like so herself all the time, even when like she maybe should tone it down. She just is like so extra in a way that I really admire. And like, yeah, I'm like, oh, I can be dramatic too, and like maybe it's good to just embrace who you are and just like be that way all the time. Yeah. She's my hero.
Oh, she's so great.
Have you watched those movies?
And with an E on Netflix, is that the series you're talking about, or just?
Like there's this older Canadian series.
Yeah, I have watched the CBC, the older one. I haven't. My mom loves the Anne with an E, and she keeps telling me I have to watch it, but I haven't
watched it. I got into it with my younger kids, and we all enjoyed it. So
yeah, it's on the list for sure. I do want to watch it at some point. And you've read the book now too. So
Yeah.
now
The book, it's so good. Everyone should read Anne of Green Gables if they haven't. For me, I'm thinking of like one of the last shows that we saw on Broadway before it was shut down was To Kill a Mockingbird, the Aaron Sorkin like version of that. And I feel this is a lot of people's like hero from fiction, so it's not super original. But Atticus Finch is just like he's such a good character of like just having empathy, not being this like perfect person, but being able to like have the humility to recognize, at least especially, I mean, I watched the play version much more recently than I've read the book. And I think some things were changed about like the characters in that, but especially in that dramatized version, Atticus displays like a lot of humility to kind of like think about his own failings when it comes to like race relations, especially. And that humility and that empathy, just like, that's what makes a hero to me.
Yeah, that's good. That'd be a good book to reread right now.
Yeah.
Snapshot of an ordinary moment that brings you joy.
Yeah. Sorry, I feel like I keep being like, I have this.
No, that's great. I want you to go. Well, I have one though.
Okay.
I have one this time. It gives me time to think usually though. I think like as we've been working from home, I've been working at like this desk. We have like a little desk in this corner by our windows. And then if we can see it behind Cath, there's like her table, the kitchen table where we have like her desk set up, because we do not have like multiple rooms in our apartment, just our bedroom and our living room. And so we've been working like really close to each other constantly for the last 6 months, but we decided to like take breaks at 3 o'clock just to like eat a snack and hang out for like 10 minutes with each other. And that's just been it's a really nice way to break up the day and be like, not everything's terrible about like not being able to go to the office and everything. It's actually pretty fun.
One of us will just be like, cookie time, and then it's cookie time, and it's really delightful.
Yeah. Or recently it's been zucchini bread time, because that's what we have.
I love it. Yeah, it's very sweet.
For me, now that it's fall and it's football season, we are fans of the Detroit Lions, despite how crazy that is, because it never works out for us. It's always every game is like heart-wrenching, and we always lose. Jimmy was able to witness this a few weeks ago at the church picnic. We were playing his beloved Bears, and he was trying to like trash talk with us, and we're like, look, we know we're up. We know it's the fourth quarter. We know we're gonna lose, and we did. Like we've
seen this movie before.
Yeah.
Like, oh gosh, that's hilarious.
But every once in a while they win, and it's terribly exciting. And so every time that the Lions win, Mitch and I will stand up and we'll run around our little living room going, "We won the game! We won the game!" And it's just it's so silly. It happens like 2 or 3 times a year because they win so infrequently. But it's like our own little Lions tradition, and it just makes me really happy.
Very nice. Very nice.
I'm learning that there's lots of like dancing going on in the.
Yeah, they got lots of dances, right?
It's true.
We have some dances. Yeah.
We love to dance.
Before I ask you this last question, it seems that Julia and Amy and a number of others, Jen, they're down for an Anne of Green Gables marathon.
Hmm.
Sometime. And then this, I don't remember this, but Martha's like, pass the damn ham. Is that from Anne of Green Gables? Yeah, pass the damn ham.
I don't remember either.
I don't know that one.
We'll just say yes.
Maybe it is.
Yeah. Oh, it's from To Kill a Mockingbird.
I was gonna say, I don't
okay.
think this is from Anne, and now I'm embarrassed that I don't remember it.
Okay.
Hmm.
I was
No,
like,
that's not me. I don't remember that from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Like, is that Rachel Lynde, right?
oh, Scout says it. All right, got it. Thank you.
all right.
Thank you.
Last one. What are you deeply grateful for right now?
I've, throughout this time, have just been really deeply grateful for my family, and for the ability and willingness to like hang out digitally, as we've been doing. So I feel like I've talked with my family a lot more in the past 6 months than I usually do. Not that we don't talk very often, but it's just become a lot more natural to like talk over the phone or like hop on a Zoom call and just spend some time as a family remotely when we can't be together in person. So I'm just deeply grateful for all the time that we get to spend together, whether in person or apart.
That's great.
I think it's probably Central Park right now, as it has been since the pandemic started. I feel like when we first moved to New York, we were like, Central Park's the greatest. There's nothing ever bad about it. And then like we discovered the history of it, and like Seneca Village and all the things that worked against, minorities to make sure that basically white people could have a park. And so like that's really messy. And so like I'm like, okay, well, I'm a white person enjoying Central Park. But I feel like I feel like part of it is like knowing, kind of doing more to try to honor the history of it. And like, I mean, the park has like put up more signs and stuff like that. But I think even in this time, it's like, okay, well, it's such a great resource, and like to be with all these different people who live in the surrounding area, being able to have the green space to kind of step away from their apartments or from just kind of like the craziness of life, even for small amounts of time, it really has been a blessing. So it's like even things that like have these ugly roots, like I feel like in the current day can have some really great like I don't think it's like redemption, but it's just like, okay, this is something that it is a public space. It is for everyone. And during this time, having those sorts of public spaces is really important.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know Leisha's family.
Yeah, that's our special place,
Yeah.
It's a gift, to live right across the street from the park. It's super grateful for it. So, yeah, I understand it.
Yeah. Oleg Bemisola said that there's a sound walk project in Central Park right now. Her daughter has
a poem at the Seneca Village site. Wow.
Oh, cool. That's usually where we like enter the park. We'll need to check that out.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks guys for sharing.
You guys were awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you
So
for having
cute.
us. We try.
Yeah, we do our best.
No trying necessary. You're just cute. Cute girl.
You're up there with
Get
like
to know you like this. I see you separately all the time. So
Yeah, I mean, doing the view, I've kind of mentioned this privately before, but not in a public setting like this. Doing a view and like having this way to like meet other parishioners that like we haven't necessarily gotten a chance to meet before the pandemic it's been really fun. It's a really fun way to like kind of simulate the like after church snack time or whatever.
for sure.
Well, just one last thing. I was going to just say that you guys are kind of up there with like Brian and Christopher as a cutest couple.
I can't claim that. Brian and
Big win.
Christopher,
And they're
Big win.
So, all right. Well, thanks, guys. And
Thank you.
Guys, happy Sunday.
yeah,
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
we've got a
Bye-bye.
couple minutes to get down here to bless your animals. So we'll see
Yeah.
ya. Bye.
Actually, Christine and I are both here today. I'm upstairs in the parish house and she's at the church. So yeah, we're getting ready to bless some animals now.
All right.
Jimmy over there being silly. Bye.
Oh, no. Let's keep going. Well, we'll have to save it for another time.